One declaration there with Triple C is the next government in Zimbabwe.
Kuti munatanga kufamba netsoka kubva muno muZimbabwe achienda kuChina anotanga kusvika ari muno asati asvika Cape Town.
Chokwadi pasi pano taiona moto marongera vanoita wepanyika vanoda kudesu vamwe.
You to just explain to us the thought process around how the CC came about, because you waited until probably just the last minute to announce CC. What was going on?
Oh yes, thank you very much. Many people do not understand that the Triple C project is a citizen project. It is a people's project. We did not just wake up. In fact, God is in it. It has a God element because we did not just come into it. There's a reason why we had to be moved out of our Egypt of politics and delivered into Canaan. Egypt being out of MDC and being introduced into the new politics of the Triple C. It was a product of a lot of inspiration, revelation, but also consultation with the citizens. We spent the last quarter of 2021 consulting different stakeholders, the churches, traditional leaders, trade union leaders, and their various institutions, young people across the length and breadth of our country. We also had to consult women groups and various other organized groups, business included. And they told us that what they wanted was a new vehicle, but not just a new vehicle, they also wanted a new substance, a new politics. And of course, apart from just having a new organization, we also had to have a new software and new substance in politics. So that is how we ended up coalescing around the convergence narrative, which is basically a new consensus of the people of Zimbabwe to respond to years of oppression, decades of injustice. So Triple C is a response to what's broken about our politics. Triple C is an embodiment of that answer to the call for dignity, the call for justice, the call for diversity, the call for the primary consideration of citizens as the most important element for considering decision making. So citizens at the center, citizens first, in decision making, in policy making, in priorities, in programming, in budget making. Citizens must matter, even in the most important elements, in elections, even in forming and constituting government, in making and unmaking leaders, citizens first, in delivering everything, services, citizens first. So it's a philosophy that places the citizen at the center, and not the politician, and not the leaders, and not those who are in the lofty offices of our society. So that is the whole story about.
Was there any resistance as you tried to bring in? Because we do appreciate that there are a lot of people who were still entrenched in the MDC name, and they felt that there was a lot of investment that had gone into that name. Was there any in the cockpit? Was there any resistance?
Well, there's no cockpit, because now we are moving from the cockpit of the elite institutions, like the previous one. We are now moving into the politics of making sure that we are all in the cockpit. We are all driving this very important big machine. We are all drivers in this big ship. And CCC is not a speedboat, so you don't just turn it willy-nilly. It's a big ship, so its turning takes time. Yes, resistance will always be there, because there are those who have the remnant of the old politics. But I must say that when anything new is bound to be resisted, is bound to be fought, but it's not as easy as you would think. Taking people out of Egypt is easier, but taking Egypt out of the people is a very tough one. So you still have Egypt continue to linger on and to stay in people's minds, people's hearts, but we need a total metamorphosis, a transformation of the mind, of the heart, to have new politics, politics of engagement, politics of issues, politics of institutions, politics of ideas, not politics of personalities or big names, but big ideas. That's what we are building. We are building an institution. And I'm so happy that the progress has been fantastic. Of course, the colleagues in ZANU-PF are very jittery and scared because we are using new methods, unconventional methods. We've realized that we have to be inventional, disruptive, and we must be able to bring new politics and new strategies and new tactics. So they'll be talking about the so-called structures in the old scheme of how structures were or are designed, but we have a new form of structure. I mean, nothing stands without form, and there can't be form without a structure, and there can't be a structure without participants and players. And we do have a way of structuring ourselves, and we are so happy. We are dealing with a guerrilla government. It requires a guerrilla response, and at times we don't necessarily have to tell them or show them who we are and what we intend to do, but we always catch them by surprise.
Zimbabwe grounds. How did you feel stepping into Zimbabwe grounds with that response?
It was a confirmation that indeed God is in it. We didn't have resources. Our colleagues in ZANU-PF and of course our state institutions, our police were trying to disrupt, and transport was not there. There was nothing, but we have now gotten used to this situation where we have nothing, but we end up with something big. So the big attendance at Zimbabwe grounds was humbling. It was also encouraging and emboldening, because we realized that there is a powerful force. Our God is with us, but also the people of Zimbabwe are with us. But more fundamentally, nobody, no human being or no human force can stop an idea whose time has come. And clearly, the time for change is upon us. Change is the only natural default setting. Even for those in ZANU, they can't resist it, because change is calling and knocking at each and every Zimbabwean's heart.
You took a huge gamble with White City, Bulawayo, and it paid off. How was Bulawayo's response to you?
Well, look, all our rallies have been fantastic. You go to any rally, whether it's in the urban areas or in the rural areas. Bulawayo was fantastic. White City, we filled it to capacity. You look at Zimbabwe grounds, probably the largest crowd ever. And this is just a by-election launch. We have not launched the People's Party, the People's Movement. We have just introduced it. The launch is going to come, and we are preparing for that launch, and it's going to be very soon. We have to start working on other processes, laying the foundation, the grassroots, making sure that we are rooted and grounded in the communities in an organic way. So our program, Mgwazo program, is to make sure that we give birth to a giant and massive movement that's going to come, which is a universal response to our universal challenges. So yes, our rallies have been fantastic. All stadiums, we've filled them to capacity, and it's not because we are smart or because of our own capacities, but as I indicate, our Father, our God in heaven, is with us. That's why I always say God is in it, which is not just a slogan, but a clear statement, a declaration of faith and the confidence that we have that whatever we're going to achieve is for His glory.
Which one was your best rally going into March 26? Which one was the best rally?
Oh, it's very difficult. I mean, each rally has its own dimension and its own unique aspects. I mean, Sakuba was exciting. It had its own interesting aspects around the mood of the change champions in the stadium. White Seat was also very good. It is always like very deep and very strong in messaging. You talk of Mukoba. Mukoba was also quite another level. So you could go on and on. You know, we even had Cholocho, very powerful. You know, the determination of young people, the determination of old women, young women, the determination of old men, pensioners, young men, to make sure that Zimbabwe achieves change across the tribal divide, across racial divide, tells us that change is unstoppable, and nobody can stop change.
Maybe just your political career. I see this picture. Just talk to us about your political career. How has it been until getting before the CC, then getting to the CC? How has it worked?
Well, it has been a very humbling experience because, we've moved a long road, but there's no easy walk to change, to freedom, to transformation. We've been in different stations of service as government ministers, as parliamentarians, but also in communities, in youth leadership. But as for myself, I'm more humbled because, it's not so often that you would have a single individual being able to serve in the different 3 branches of the state. I've served as a member of parliament, so I swore an oath to serve this beautiful country as a member of parliament for many years, and I did, including serving and representing Zimbabwe at the ACP EU in Brussels. I've served as a minister of ICT. I've also served as an advocate in the Superior Courts, representing different clients. So being active in the legislative branch, in the executive branch, and of course in the parliamentary branch, and more fundamentally, I've also sworn, holding the Bible to serve my God, when I did my pastoral studies. So it has been a unique experience, very unusual, but I'm thankful to God.
At this particular moment, you were standing with President Robert Mugabe, President Jacob Zuma. Why is this particular picture an important aspect that you immortalized it here?
Well, these are just moments. I mean, they mark the different episodes in life. We have served, at various levels, national level, global level, and we're just reflecting on the journey that we have so far traversed.
Looking now, let's talk from the time the results came. 19 seats you won, and now you're looking into the bigger pot, 2023 general elections. Let's just talk about that.
Well, look, we have done very well. I mean, for a party that was launched in January to hit close to 75-80% of the vote, that's huge. We had 19 out of the 28 seats that were up for a contestation. And of course, in the local authorities, we've had lost about 88, 89, 90 seats out of the 120 something that were contested. That's an impressive record. It has never happened. I mean, these guys thought that they had buried us. Little did they know that they'd actually planted us, and we've germinated, we are flourishing, and we are blossoming, and we are budding flowers now, and I can tell you that the fruit is going to be realized very soon, and Zimbabwe will enjoy.
2023. What is your prediction? What are you looking for? What are you looking at?
Plus 65%. We just want to make sure that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past, where we won by a small margin, because those who do meticulous verification can actually verify you out of the contest. So we want to make sure that there's a wide margin, and we want to make sure that we win, even if they rig. So winning in a rigged election, winning strong, winning big, and a very wide margin. That's what we're working on. The people are with us, and God is in it, and we are so excited that we are building a new great Zimbabwe. We are really excited that the citizens have embraced their project, and they know that what we mean when we say citizens first and citizens at the center is that they must be driving this whole process. The leaders are just but accessories to the main effort to steward this struggle forward. So the citizens are in charge, and citizens will deliver victory. So I look at 2023 as a year of citizens' victory.
Is it possible?
It has happened before. The key thing is that victory going to be secure, and is that victory not going to be backslidden? But I can assure you that once bitten, twice shy, we are putting every effort into place to make sure that the people's victory is guaranteed, and say citizens' victory cannot be reversed.